This is cilantro. We're going to cut this up and soak it in salt water. This here is kale. It's been washed, soaking in salt water for about 10 minutes. Then it will be rinsed off and drained before I put it in the crock pot. This here is my crock pot, nothing special. Just a cheap crock pot, does the job well, gets really hot. I always put my setting at 4 hours for any and everything I cook. I mean, I don't leave them in there for 4 hours, but I always leave the setting because, you know, while I'm doing my other chores. I've washed the salt water from the kale. I've drained it and I'm going to season it with Lori's seasoning salt. No MSG, they say. Black pepper, olive oil, and paprika, smoked paprika. That will give it some taste because you do know kale is a little bit boring. So let's get to it. Black pepper, salt, olive oil. Put a small amount of olive oil at the bottom of the crock pot and some onions just to give everything flavor while it's cooking. I'm going to put in the kale and the plantain. They're not very ripe, so I'm putting those in together because the kale takes a lot longer than the fish. And no, I'm going to put the plantains in for about 30 minutes. Then I'm going to put the kale on top of the plantains. Then I'm going to put the fish on top of the kale and the cilantro and let everything cook for about 2 hours. And everything will be well fermented together and sealed. Inside the crock pot, you'll see I have semi-ripe plantain, not very ripe, onions, and I'm going to put the kale in. On top of the kale, I'm putting the fish because the kale takes longer to cook than the fish. And all the aroma will be fused together. Everything will be fused together once I leave it there for 2 hours. Folks, you know I'm always bragging about my one-stop cooking pot. I'm just doing this to show you that you don't have to be a prisoner in front of the stove. You could put everything in a crock pot and keep it moving, which is what I do and how I cook. As you can see, there's lots of garlic and onions on top of the fish so that the flavor gets infused with that from the bottom. Gotta have things seasoned up properly for taste.